My name is Alicia, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 30 years old.
She came into the breast center. She had a mammogram where we found some abnormal things on it, and she came back to have the area biopsy that we were looking at.
The first hard part was when Mom and Dad told me I had cancer. My whole world just exploded into a million pieces. I was scared out of my mind. I was terrified. But I really tried my hardest not to let it get to me. Because when you're in that state of mind, that's all you can think about. The first thing that I did was I prayed. That was the only thing that I could think to do. You know, I have a big family history on my dad's side. My grandma and 3 great aunts all have breast cancer. One of them died from it. I had always kind of gone through the years wondering, okay, am I going to get breast cancer? When am I going to get it? You know, am I going to be an older person or a younger person? Well, the first thing I did when I got home, I went to the library and checked out, cancer books, and, I studied up on what was going to be happening. I had a double mastectomy, and I went through chemo and radiation, lost my hair.
I remember meeting Alicia, and from the moment I met her, she just had a remarkable impact on my life. She's always been so positive and so caring and giving, and she just makes you feel at ease and puts you at ease in a situation.
When you first come into chemo, they have a little class, and they kind of let you know everything that's going to go on, which that was a really, really big help.
Helping people understand what's going on and to understand that there are treatments available and we're going to get to the other side of this together. That's the main thing that I try to do.
Anytime we were just, like panicking and about to go crazy, we talked to Lori and she'd get us calmed down. You've got to have some people that you feel like are on your side and feel what you're going through.
My doctors were great. They really cared about me. They took the time to, if I had questions, they were there. They didn't seem like they were in a hurry.
I've actually had the privilege of being her medical oncologist, which means I've been giving her chemotherapy. And our job in all of this is really to make that very difficult process easier for patients.
When you're going through a cancer journey, it's the most horrible thing that you can think of. The people that you encounter, they either make it good or bad. And the whole staff of St. Anthony has been wonderful. When my hair started coming out in the shower, as weird as it sounds, that is the only time I felt like a cancer patient. I just had to turn it over to God. And the help of my friends and family really helped a lot.
We had decided once her hair started falling out, we were going to just shave it. I told her, I said, how about we just make a party out of it? So we called the 2 friends and another friend. One of them brought her daughter. We got some snacks out on the table, and so that afternoon they all came over, we ate a little bit, and then we went in there and started shaving.
One night I was looking through the Bible trying to find some sort of comfort, and I came across Psalm 30 verse 5, weeping may remain for a night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. And when I read that, it was like this big light bulb went off in my head, and like, oh, okay. So this is my night, and then my morning's gonna come sometime down the line. I don't know when, but it'll be here. And that kind of eased some of the worry. I knew that God was going to be right there by my side. He was never going to let me go.
It's not unusual for us to stop and pray with a patient, and I think it just gives you a bond that you wouldn't ordinarily have with somebody. I fully believe in the power of prayer. I don't think that any of us could get through this without it.
The power of prayer is a pretty big thing. It sustained me through the whole thing, and it still does.
Her last chemo, it was kind of a celebration.
That was a pretty happy day. It was kind of like a big party, you know. It's like, hey, it's the last treatment, woohoo!
Alicia, during her chemotherapy, had kept a scrapbook, and so one of the last pages was the picture of us together, kind of completing that chemotherapy. So that was a really nice end to the chemotherapy period in her time here. During her last visit with us, she had come by and saying that she needed a note so that she could start volunteering. And I thought, you know, what a spectacular person.
I started volunteering at St. Anthony because, you know, they were so great with me, and I just, you know, wanted to give something back.
She's helped some other people through this too. You know, there's a lot of people that see her example.
She interacts with the patients, and she's just so willing to do whatever anybody needs her to do. She goes around to the different areas, and I know that she's made a difference in patients' lives that she's come into contact with.
She's been an example to me of how to deal with this situation. I mean, she's just taken it and gone with it.
Alicia has really shown us how to deal with adversity, so it's really been quite a privilege to be her doctor.
People told me all the time, oh, you're so brave and all this stuff, and I wouldn't have gotten through it if it weren't for my friends, my family, and God. We're only granted a moment in time here. You know, we're not going to be here forever. And it taught me how to rely on God for my strength and my faith, because He's why we're all here anyway. I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. Maybe there's something later on down the line that if it wasn't for this, I couldn't go through that. I knew God had me in the palm of His hand and He wasn't going to let me slip. As of right now, I'm cancer-free.